One, two, one, two. You can hear me. Perfect. So I know that for the audience here, the microphone is not really that necessary. There's not so many of us, and thankfully nobody's sitting in the very last rows. But as Alice already mentioned, feel free to come closer to the first rows, even to the very first row if you want to. That way, personally, I have minuses for my eyesight. I would be able to look you in the eyes. But yeah, so today here we are at our first pre-hackathon workshop. And even though maybe we have a smaller audience right now in person, I know that there's quite a few people on Zoom, on the Zoom call as well. So at some point we are going to monitor the chat there as well. So if you have any questions there, feel free to ask them and we will try to, give them to our speakers today and thus provide answers. Same here, of course, for you in person. If you have any questions, feel more than free to raise your hand and ask the questions. But who am I and why am I here? So my name is Paul Silinch. I'm a project director at Riga Techgirls and also the hackathon, the Women in Tech Hackathon 2024 lead. And yeah, today we are at the first pre-hackathon workshop, and the topic of it is going to be ideation and prototyping. So during this workshop, our aim is to give you necessary and very useful tools for you to, first of all, we are going to quickly, turn off the music. That's okay. Tools that will help you, get to the perfect, the correct, the one and only idea. Although there's no such thing. I mean, there's a lot of ideas, and don't be shy to pursue them all. At least in your life, for the hackathon, try to find one idea to pursue. And prototyping, of course, how to create the basis, the minimal viable product, the thing that you will be presenting at the end of the hackathon. So that's why we are here today. I see that there are more people joining. Perfect. Happy to see that. Yeah, but about the hackathon itself, probably as you are here, as you are there on Zoom, and if you are on Zoom, that means you have joined the Slack workspace, and that means you're dedicated to participate on the hackathon. Hackathon itself is going to take place over this weekend from 8th till 10th of March. And the why we are creating this hackathon, one reason is to celebrate the International Women's Day, to give you the opportunity to participate in not so maybe hectic or stressful hackathon. I mean, let's be honest, it is going to get a bit stressful at the end when you need to prepare the presentation and hand it in. But the aim here is really to give you the opportunity, especially if you haven't ever previously participated in a hackathon, to give you the opportunity to do so in a safe and welcoming environment where we, the organizers, the mentors, everybody who's going to be there, we are going to help you if help is going to be needed. We are going to assist you, and we are definitely going to support you throughout all of these days. So that is the main reason for this hackathon, for women and people altogether who haven't ever participated in a hackathon, to celebrate the International Women's Day by trying out something new in a safe and welcoming environment. So that's the main goal. And yes, regarding the hackathon, like I said, it's going to take place over this weekend. It's going to take place in a hybrid format. It's going to happen at the University of Latvia's Nature Building. But here's one thing that you need to mention, that we will not provide an overnight stay, meaning that each day, Friday and Saturday at 10 o'clock, everybody, including us, the organizers, we are going to have to leave the premises to return back in the morning. But like I said, this is not a hackathon where we aim to, create the best and the billion-dollar ideas that are going to be super helpful. Well, we hope that you will come up with such ideas, and we definitely wish your idea to reach that billion-dollar, marking. But here we want you to, take it maybe a bit slower and have fun with it. Have fun with it, definitely. So yeah, that's regarding the hackathon. But of course, if you cannot join us in person, it will be available online in a hybrid format. So that's the main thing. As for the teams, I'm just going to use the time here to quickly remind the audience of a couple of things regarding the hackathon. Each team must consist of 2 to 6 participants. And of course, there has to be at least one, hopefully more, but at least one female founder in the team. As you know, it's the Women in Tech Hackathon. So that's why we definitely want to see more female founded startups in Latvia and in the world in general. So that's another thing. And of course, we are going to provide breakfast, snacks, coffee, tea, lunch, and dinner on the premises where the hackathon is going to take place. But if you are joining online, sorry, we will not be able to send those things over via mail. But we do hope that you will, have enough opportunities to eat and keep the energy up. So I would say these are the main things I wanted to say right now regarding the hackathon. Maybe at the end I will mention something more. But before we get into the workshop, and to help you already with ideation, as we have quite a few partners and sponsors and yeah, people with whom or organizations with whom we are working on regarding this hackathon, they have proposed several challenges. And these challenges can help with your ideation, can help with coming up with the best ideas, the ideas you want to pursue. And furthermore, some of these challenges, they have some separate prizes as well. I mean, there are going to be prizes for the top three teams finishing the hackathon, but the challenges hold separate prizes as well. So that's why it's important to listen in and to learn about these challenges. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our first and main hackathon partner, Novartis, and Edgar Studītis, Healthcare Innovations Lead at Novartis, to introduce you to these challenges.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here to give a brief introduction to our company and our challenges we have outlined for this hackathon. But first and foremost, I would want to say big thanks, huge thanks to Riga Techgirls and to Pauls for inviting us to this event. We are really genuinely excited to see and witness possible innovative creations firsthand. And so maybe to give a brief introduction before the challenges, brief introduction to our company, about us. At Novartis, we are an innovative pharmaceutical company which are dedicated to finding a new treatments and curing diseases. We are looking how to intervene earlier in chronic conditions and improve quality of life. We are deeply committed to address the unmet needs of patients and the healthcare environment and improve healthcare ecosystem overall. And so when analyzing these patient pathways, we have found and identified several pain points which has become these challenges for this event. And these challenges are focused in our main focus areas, which is cardiology, neuroscience, and oncology. So the first one is in cardiology. We are looking for a solution that would promote cholesterol screening to patients, allow the doctors and the patients effectively to monitor cholesterol levels, to track their treatment progress, and to increase patient adherence to their medication. The second challenge is in neuroscience. We are looking in short version. This is the long version. The short version, we are looking a solution which could provide the psychological support for multiple sclerosis patients. And in the oncology, we have identified three challenges which we found very important to tackle. So the first one would be we are seeking a solution to organize and plan screening visits to target societal groups, and this would be especially important for women with breast cancer. The second one would be we are looking for a solution which could be some kind of plugin or add-on in existing healthcare system, which could help experience sharing between the university and regional hospitals. This could include transferring of patient data. This could include sharing difficult patient cases, sharing experiences, knowledge, advices, and basically improve collaboration between the regions. And the last challenge in oncology would be a solution that could assist GPs or general practitioners to identify high-risk oncology patients and providing timely notifications for necessary checkups for patients in these risk groups. So yeah, these are our challenges. We are really eager to look for your help in finding possible solutions and to maybe motivate you a little bit more to choose our segment. We are offering an additional €200 for the best solution. So we are really looking forward for your participation. And lastly, I would like to invite all of you here and online tomorrow at the Startup House. We will have a separate workshop where we will address all of these challenges in details. It's happening at Startup House, 6 p.m. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you there, and best of luck to each of you. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Edgars. And moving on, so we can get to the workshop roster. I would also like to welcome to the stage Agrit Gaidan, Communications Manager at Latvijas Banka, to introduce the challenges from our partner, Latvijas Banka.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I am Agrita Gaidana, and today I am representing Latvijas Banka's challenge in financial literacy. And we offer you to think in two ways to help us also to find some innovative solutions to help and improve maybe yours and another person's life quality. So the first way to think is yes, about personal finances, about budgeting to help people aware their money flow. And in the end, the big aim of this all is to help people to start to make savings. And we believe that the first step is to aware this money flow, to start to budget things, your money flow. Yes, and in the end, the first step is to save money at least for like 1 month incomes. But the biggest aim is to collect from 3 to 6 months incomes, and this is like saving fundings, or it could be for traveling, for new car, for new house, or thinking about when persons are getting old. And a lot of research shows that these are 4 keywords that persons could start to think about why they should start to make some savings. In Latvia, it's quite a big problem because more than 30% of people, they don't have any savings. And if there come some unexpected events, they are in actually big trouble that they can't get out. And yeah, and with this way, we are looking you to find new ways how to help them. And the second way to think is big problem, not even in Latvia, but all around Europe. Maybe you have heard about Nigerian prince. Actually, it's one of the popular occupation in Nigeria, scammers, and they are very creative and looking always for new ways how to cheat out some data or money for Europeans, and especially in Latvia. It's a big problem. Last year, there was more than 13 million euros cheated out from people, and it doesn't stop. It goes more crazy, and during these first months of the year, there is around 5 millions that are cheated out. So maybe for you it could be silly to get some email from Nigerian prince, or to get some funny phone call or SMS. But there is a lot of persons who are in this emotional state that they don't think rationally about these calls or SMS, and they yeah, they fall for that, and it's a really big big problem. And there is also a lot of ways how they do that. There's these romantic frauders. There's a lot of stories how like quite rich, wealthy women are cheated. Or now we have this taxes thing popular from or with SMS are coming. Then are these investment frauders that promise you a big earning in 2 months, and it's so big lies, and people believe that. And yeah, this is the second way to think in our challenge, and to make some how to say bigger motivation to think about these challenges. We provide 2,000 euros for the best solution for the first steps. It won't be like a prize. It will be a support to get next steps with this little help. And so, thank you very much. Hope you see your ideas. Yes, it depends. Also, I didn't mention that a big problem also is with young people. It's called money mule, who help to transfer the money. It's another, but it's not average age. It's more persons with maybe lower education. About investments, it's more maybe at the countryside. They don't check the facts. They believe in these all good stories, and it depends. And for example, it's not only with bad low education. Sometimes this emotional state that, for example, you are a mom, and then a unknown phone is calling and say that, oh, mommy, please help me, send me something. And then you don't think rationally. You have this click, and you can't imagine that maybe you should call back to your child to check, because you don't think rationally. So it's not always about education or income level. Yeah. And for more ideas, you are welcome to check Latvijas Bankas financial literacy portal Naudas Skola, and there's a lot of examples and principles how to. There's examples for these frauders, but also there's like basic things how to plan your budget, and so maybe you will get some ideas for yourself, and maybe to put it in your innovative ideas. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Agit. So, first thing before we move finally to the workshop, I do want to mention that these are not the only challenges. More are going to be still appearing out of the blue, so to say. Tomorrow we are going to publish some more. One is going to come from Air Baltic, one is going to come from Printify, and there may be even more. So keep your eyes open. Still, these were the first posted, so I would suggest start thinking about some of these challenges. But so that you can start thinking about the challenges and about the ideas you want to create, I think it's time to commence the ideation and prototyping workshop. And for that, I would love to welcome to the stage our two amazing speakers for today, Darja Murafa and Līga Strautniece. Darja and Līga, welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's switch over to ours. All right, so thank you for coming today. I know it's been a long day, and we really appreciate to all of you who showed up in person, and as well who's joining online. So a little bit about what we will be doing today. So as you are getting ready for Hackathon, we want to help you come up with ideas and help you understand the framework, how you can end up with the solutions. So today we will be diving into design thinking. We'll be looking at different methods and approaches, how you can generate ideas. and how you can prototype them, test them, and really understand that you are coming up with the right solution. And today we will cover a little bit of theory. We'll also try to give you a hands-on experience so you can test it yourself. And in the end, we're going to look at how, following this approach, you can come up with innovative solutions. But before we get started, I would like to ask our in-person people who came stand up, and I'll ask you a couple of questions so we understand who's in our audience. So you're going to be sitting for 2 hours, so I invite you to stand up, and I'll ask you, nobody's standing up. Very engaging for people. All right, so I'll be asking a question, and if the answer is yes, you just clap, and if the answer is no, you just stomp your feet. And for the people online, you can also stand up, but you can also vote with emojis. So thumbs up if it's a yes, and thumbs down if it's a no. So first question, will this be your first hackathon? Yes is clap, and no is stomp. Okay. Do you have any design background? Are you a product designer? No. So a little bit of mix. I think some people are also confusing the clap and the stomping. And last question, are you here to learn something today? Yes. So one question that we're all aligned on. All right, thank you. Now you can sit down. So a little bit about us, who we are. I'm a product designer at Printify, and my background is actually in digital marketing and communications. I lived in America for 10 years. I studied their marketing, communications. I think I wasn't speaking in the microphone, so hopefully online people was hearing me. And I was working in communications for IT company in Washington, D.C. And then throughout my experience in marketing, I was fortunate enough to actually find my true passion, which is creating good products and crafting good user experience. So now I'm a product designer, and I'm trying to help our users at Printify help them accomplish their goals.
Yes, and I'm also a product designer, no surprises here. Yes, we are working together with Līga at Printify. I've been doing design for a little bit more than 5 years now, and I'm also mentoring on ATP list platform. So if you will have any questions about the design, I will be glad to help you out and share what I have learned so far. And feel free to connect on LinkedIn.
Yes. All right. So let's get started. So what is design? You probably know this legendary innovator, Steve Jobs. And he once put it that design isn't just what it looks like and feels like, it's actually how it works. So when we look at the design, it's not just about the visuals or how it looks. When we talk about design, it's the whole experience, how we use the product, how it works. So to better understand, you can try to think of your favorite application or gadget. Probably you don't just use it just because it looks cool, but also that it helps you accomplish something. So for example, this morning I was checking what are the applications I mostly use. And for me, the top two are Spotify and Waze. So both of them are really nice applications. They look visually pleasing, they have nice aesthetics, but also Waze solves my problem of helping me to get from point A to point B. And same for Spotify. I don't have to listen to radio to songs that I don't want to. I go to Spotify, I find my songs, and it helps me accomplish the thing that I'm trying to do. So essentially, good design is not just the visual part, but also how it works and that really meets our user needs.
Yes, and here we have a couple of examples between the design and experience. We have a TV remote with many, many, many buttons, but how many of them do we actually use? And let's be honest, there are still some buttons I have no idea what they do. So yeah, this is the difference. We have designed many features, maybe even not the bad ones, but if they are not get used, then we have a poor user experience. And the second example, is my personal drama as a cat owner. You have a fancy, expensive cat bed, and you have a simple cardboard box, and the cat will always choose the box. Been there, tried many fancy beds. Trust me, the box will win all the time. So yeah, this is what user experience design is all about, is to think about user experience and to solve real problems. And especially in the web is very important, because if your user open your web page and have no idea what to do here and what is this web page is all about, most likely he will just leave, he will forget about it, and he will never return. So it's very, very important to keep in mind that we always solve a problem, and we always think about user needs.
And if we look how to come up with good design or good products, there is a trusted method or a framework that's called design thinking. And design thinking is non-linear, iterative process that teams use to understand users, challenge assumptions, and redefine problems to create innovative solutions to prototype and test. And it's basically like using a recipe when you're cooking. You already have all the steps laid out. You can choose to follow them, but you can also adjust them to your own liking and to your own problem. And companies like Airbnb, Apple, Nike, for example, for me, I think they all have amazing products and solutions. And these are just some of the examples that are also using this design thinking framework at the core of their company. And this is what we're going to be examining today and really diving deep into this framework. But before that, I will also like to show you a small example from the health industry of a company that was really using and following this design thinking method at focusing on the problem and following the steps to come up with innovative solution. So just 1 minute video.
Did you know 150 million Americans take medication every day? So each person has to stand in line at the pharmacy, sort their pills, and remember to fill their prescriptions over and over and over. That's why we created PillPack. We're a new kind of pharmacy. We sort your medication by date and time and deliver it directly to your door.
But I take different kinds of medications at different times of the day.
No problem. We organize your meds for you, so now you don't have to waste time sorting your pills.
Sure, but can you do vitamins?
We can add those too.
But I hate paying for shipping.
Well, you'll love PillPack. Our service is free. You only pay for your medications.
And you take my insurance.
Yep. We work with most plans.
And you handle all my refills.
We work with your doctors to get you your medication every month.
What about my inhaler?
We're a full service pharmacy, so we can handle your inhaler and any other pharmacy items. Every day, people across the country are saving time and staying healthy with PillPack. Switch to a simpler pharmacy today. PillPack, an Amazon company.
Very good commercial. You can also use PillPack if you want to. But if we look at this, something is stuck for us. Can you help me, Paul? No. Yes, all good. Thank you for being ready. So if we look at how PillPack actually came to this product, it took them many months to really understand the user, what is the problem, what are the user needs, and what is the exact problem they're trying to solve. And this is, if you Google design thinking, there is many different visuals that come up, but this is one of the most popular visuals. So you can see that in design thinking, there's a couple steps. So it all starts with emphasizing, understanding who is the user and what is the problem, then defining, ideating, prototyping, testing. And this PillPack company, you can see that there's different methods and approaches in each stage, and they went through these and came to the solution. And right now, we're going to be diving into each step individually and really understanding what it means and what are the different approaches and methods that you can apply. And in this example, PillPack came up with this solution in over a year. But in Hackathon, obviously, you don't have a year. You only have a couple hours or 2 days. So we're also going to keep that in mind of suggesting you a couple of methods that you can use in a hackathon, which takes only a couple minutes to a couple hours. And also a fun fact, if you really find the right problem to solve and create a good innovative solution, you also can make some money out of it. For example, this company, they started in an accelerator. So it was just a couple of guys who came up with this idea. And then I think last year or 2 years ago, it was acquired by Amazon for $100 million. So pretty successful story. So we're wishing also for you in Hackathon to really find these problems and come up with innovative solutions. But now let's take each step and zoom in on what it is and what you can do there.
Yes, we start with the first step, which is empathize. And here we try to deeply understand our users. What are the pains? What are the needs? What are the feelings about a certain problem? You can see several approaches that we can do here. Most likely you will do interviews during the hackathon. It can be your family. You can torture your friends with your questions. Even sometimes random people online can help you with your interviews. And speaking about interviews, it's very, very important to ask right questions. And by right questions, I mean open-ended questions. Because if we will ask questions that can be simply answered with yes or no, we will hardly understand what are the feelings about this problem. What is the experience of our user? And yeah, here also we added a link to this summary video for the book, The Mom Test. It's a really nice book that can help you to ask better questions during the interviews. So in the future, if you will want to learn more about the how to improve your interview skills, I really recommend the book. But for now, yeah, you can check this video. It also will be very, very helpful.
And this interviews is also a very popular method that we use at Printify when we're trying to understand our users better and try to pinpoint the right problem. And what we suggest, if you can, do the interviews in pairs, because sometimes it's very hard to listen and write it down. So if you can in Hackathon, do it in pairs. So one person is asking and the other person is observing. Because in interviews, it's also the observing is very, the observing is very, very important part, because sometimes what people say is not actually what they do. There's this phenomena that's when you ask people in interviews, they somewhat want to please you and give you the answers that you want to hear. So it's very important to really dig deep when you ask these questions. And if they say something, try to dig deeper, ask them why. Can they share more insights about the last time they experienced this frustration? So here you really try to understand their problems and their experiences. And as you have gone through the interviews, you probably have a lot of data. And often this is a picture of a very typical designer workshop room where you have gathered a lot of insights from the first parts and you add them in kind of sticky notes. So there's a lot of unclustered information. And during the definition stage, you try to really zoom in and understand what are the problem you're trying to solve and who you are solving it for. And during the definition stage, you can use many different methods, such as problem framing, journey mapping, which is a bit longer, problem validation, and persona. So persona is something that you can apply during a hackathon, which is basically a fictional character that represents your core user group. So from the interviews, let's say you interviewed 5 people. All of them have a little bit different experience, a little bit different motivations and goals. And when you're crafting this persona, you're trying to make one fictional character that represents the whole. So it's adding their bio, their goals, their frustrations, their motivations. And this is a very crucial step, because personas is something that you will reference throughout the design process. As you move further ahead, you're going to really think, okay, who am I actually building this for? What is the problem that I'm trying to solve? So don't rush through this phase, really try to pinpoint the problem and the user.
Yes, and you just saw this picture with a lot of ideas. So maybe you have a question, where do I get these ideas? And in the next step, which is called Ideate, we collect all the crazy ideas. So at this step, we are not judging, we're not analyzing, we're just using our minds to create all the crazy stuff. We put it on the board without any judgment. And one of the ways how we can generate many ideas in a fast way, we use this exercise that is called Crazy Eights. So Crazy Eights is a fast sketching activity where we have 8 minutes. We set a timer for 8 minutes and we sketch at 8 ideas. So usually, we count one idea per minute. And then, what we can do today, in the next slide, you see that we have the main ingredient for the Crazy Eight, that we need to have a problem or a task to solve that our ideas can solve. So for today, we thought about the problem that I think that most of us are aware of, long wait times at doctor's offices. And we thought that we can try together this Crazy Eights exercise and to think about the solutions to reduce this long wait time. So what you will do is that, you will get a piece of paper. You will fold it into 8 sections, where each section should be like, one idea will be for one section, and we will set a timer for 8 minutes. So you will try to sketch this solution for this problem, and don't worry, the sketch is just for you. You will not need to share them. And also you can see in the next image that you can just write down any crazy ideas that you will have that could solve this problem. Just write them down or add some quick sketches. If you are the only person on earth that understands your handwriting, is completely okay. Just write it down. You're the only one who needs to understand it. If we will return to the task part.
Yes, and for the people online, we encourage also you to try this exercise. So just find a piece of paper and follow us along. We're going to be setting up the timer and putting on some background music. And let's wait till everyone is has their paper. And just a suggestion and encouragement for the ideation, the more ideas you come up with, I think the background music is that you need really to generate many ideas to come up with the successful one. And there is this innovation funnel statistics that from 4,000 ideas, only 1 to 2 ideas will be the successful ones. So right now we're going to just try to go crazy and get out all the ideas that we have. How do you want to do this? I'll just
we will set timer for 8 minutes, and then you will have time to sketch your crazy 8 ideas or less. Yeah, it's completely fine to sketch less if you feel like time flies too fast.
So first start focusing on the first idea, and after 1 minute, we're going to say, move on to the next one. So good luck. Go crazy. All right, first minute is up. Now move to the second idea. So the second box. All right, time's up. Move on to the third idea. All right, time's up. Move on to the fourth idea. Hopefully our online hopefully our online people are also trying this exercise and following us along. All right, fifth idea. Time to go to sixth idea. Time to move on to the second to last idea. All right. So 8 minutes are up. Hopefully by now you have 8 ideas. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad, but at least you got your mind going. You ideated. So, sorry. So would anyone like to share one idea from your idea? Amazing. I'll give you mic so our online people are hearing us.
I was thinking maybe if some these clients doing fast, maybe we can like next client have this clock until your visit is time this and this like in hours and minutes. And if doctor sees that before like doing fast, then maybe next already can see this like clock. It's like taxi, you know how long both taxi will drive. So something like this.
Amazing. Anyone else would like to share? No, so a little bit of shy, but don't worry, we're gonna get you a little more engaged. So before this, me and Darja also tried to do this crazy 8, just as an example, so you guys can see. So we also folded a sheet of paper, and for this time, I only focused on the solution idea, not actually visuals. So some ideas is introducing express check-in kiosk, which would take off the load of people checking in and maybe speed it up. Another idea is to, number 8 is to add buffer times. So basically introduce between every appointment, 15 minutes buffer time. But maybe it's not the best idea because it would all reduce the number of visits per day and thus reduce the hospital income. So as you can see, there are ideas. At this stage, it doesn't matter if it's a good or bad idea. All are worth exploring. And if in the beginning at ideation, you're trying to come up with as many ideas as possible, then once you move forward, it's important to really identify good ideas, your best ideas, and try to zoom in and expand on them more. And for this, there is a very good technique. It's called yes and, yes but. So if you also go to improv theaters, maybe you have experienced this where people just get up and it's usually a role play where one person, for example, me, I'm saying we could, and then Darja is trying to oppose everything that I say. Yes, but. Because why we do this yes, but? Because ideas, as good as they are, there's also a lot of times there's some constraints or they're not possible. So doing this first method, we try to really lay down all the hesitations that our idea might have. And then the other method is we could. So I would still say we could. And then Darja said yes and. So it's basically building up on each other's ideas And my ideas may be sparking Darja's ideas. So by this role play, together we come up with maybe a new idea. So just to demonstrate, first we're gonna try yes, but. So I'll be we could, and you'll be yes, but. Darja, we could introduce check-in kiosks.
Yes, but some people are not that tech savvy. It will be complicated for them.
We could make them so simple that even an 80-year-old grandma could use it. So this is just like 3 times going back and forth, but you can see that you just keep going. And then Darja would still keep throwing me these yes buts. And the same thing with yes and. So taking the same example, Darja, we could build a check-in kiosk.
Yes, and we can move it near the entrance so it will be easy to register.
Yes, and we could give people free coffee so they're happy when they go to doctor. Maybe coffee is not the best idea, it adds expenses, but it's just about sparking ideas in each other. So now I know some of you didn't want to share, but you won't have to share publicly. I'll ask you to find the person next to you. So you two can get together, you two, and you two, and so on. And online people, sorry about this. You can just try to play both parts. So for each, I'll ask you to take your best idea, and we're going to have 4 minutes. So first, try to focus on that one idea and go with yes, but, and then switch to yes, and. Yes, on online, we're going to do breakout rooms. So we're going to have pairs of 2. And 1 room with 3 people. All right, so 4 minutes, go ahead. Oh, a small note for our online members. We see that some of you guys are dropping off and getting a little bit scared of these breakout rooms. So it's okay not to join them. So you can stay in the call, but if you don't want to, you don't have to join the breakout room. Two minutes are up, so try to switch other partners' idea. All right. I see people are still talking, very engaged. So how did it go? Would anyone would like to share idea? No. No, but you see that in just a minute and two, you can go from one idea, you can generate many new ideas. I see that in the back, we're still sharing. Very good, very engaged people.
Yes, and what are next steps? So let's say we had this workshop, we have generated a lot of crazy ideas, and this is how it looks now. We have this wall filled with 100 ideas, how we choose the best ones. So there are several also ways and approaches how can we prioritize ideas, how we can select the best ones. What we often use at Printify is a dot voting. So imagine we are a team, we are like 5 people, each of us has 3 votes. And then we take a look at all ideas and we place our votes accordingly for the ideas we think that are the best. But today I wanted to tell you a little bit more about this impact and effort matrix. So impact and effort matrix is a pretty simple tool. We have this matrix and we think about each idea in a way of how much value it will bring to a user versus how difficult it is to make it happen. So let's imagine we are designing a recipe app and we have this idea about adding add to favorites button to a recipe page. And we are thinking that it will not take that much time and resource to add this button, but it will bring a lot of value to users. They will be able to save their recipes for later. So we can add this idea to the quick win section in the top right corner. And then we follow the same approach. We're looking at each idea separately and we are thinking about the impact and effort of each idea. And then we place them to the board. And usually quick win section is the place where all the best ideas are because they have low effort and high impact. So this is something that we can quickly start and bring a lot of value to users.
And just to add on this prioritization, when we do this, very important thing is to really keep in mind the user that we're designing for and the problem that we're trying to solve. So right now, ideation is the third step in design thinking process, but we already are using what we came up with from the first 2 steps. So we're using our user persona. So when you come to do prioritization, it's very good to keep this user persona next to you and really think, okay, which of the solutions is going to help the user and the problem. So it's all goes in a line in in like a chain.
And to wrap up what we have learned and what we have did so far. So we started with the empathize step. We learned about user pains, user needs. Then we had a clear understanding about the problem that we need to solve. Then we have workshop with the crazy ideas, and then we selected the best ones by prioritizing them. Maybe you already have some questions about these 3 steps of the design process, or yeah, looks clear so far.
We're doing amazing, explaining everything so good that you don't have questions. All right, so right now we're halfway through our workshop. So we went through the first 3 stages, and now we're going to move on to prototype and testing phase. So what is prototyping? What is the goal of it? So the main thing that we want to do in this stage is to bring our ideas, make them visual, and bring it to the users as fast as we can. So during the prototype phase, it's really not about fancy visuals. It's just about visualizing our idea so the user can understand what they're supposed to do. And for prototyping, there's also very many different methods that you can use and also many stages. So for example, we can take a look at these mobile prototypes. So you see low fidelity prototyping, which we're going to also try to do today. So it's basically taking a piece of paper and sketching out. So it's very quick, it's very low fidelity, but the advantage of this is that you can do it very quickly and test it. And then you also can do mid-fidelity prototyping, which is usually done in one of the prototyping tools, maybe Figma. And here it's already more visual. It focuses more on testing interactions. You can see how the users are navigating through it. And it's also very good to test. And then in the end, we have a high fidelity prototype, which basically it looks already like a finished product. You can click everywhere, you see all the visuals, the branding, but it's just a prototype. It's not yet a finished product. But keeping in mind that it's better to start with low fidelity prototypes so you can test it quickly. Because imagine if you would focus on high fidelity, maybe you take 2 months to develop it. Then you take it to the users, you test it, and you quickly learn that it's actually you're not solving the right problem and it's completely wrong. Users don't understand it. Then you have to go back and start all over again of trying to understand the problem and doing the prototype again. So during the hackathon, it's also very good just to start with low fidelity prototypes of just sketching it out on the paper. And I mentioned also some tools for the prototyping. So here's 4 examples that you can use. For designers, our most favorite one and what we use on daily basis is Figma. Anybody can use it. You can sign up and you can have a free account. And there's also a bunch of tutorials on YouTube where you can quickly learn the tool. But then there's also some other tools available. For example, leveraging AI or turning paper prototypes. So we're gonna share the presentation later, so you can explore these tools on your own. But today, for the hands-on exercise, we're gonna try low fidelity prototypes of sketching on paper. And another important thing and something useful that you can definitely use is artificial intelligence. So there's a bunch of tools that can really make the design process easier, more effective, and you can really get the information that you need even if you don't have the design or product experience. And ChatGPT, my favorite tool, I actually use it, if not on daily basis, then every other day. So for example, if you are in a team in Hackathon and you don't have a designer or you're stuck, you can simply add a prompt. For example, in this one, I added a prompt, what should be in doctor's appointment scheduling app? Create a wireframe. So basically already lists out all the pages I need. It lists out all the things that should be in each page. And this is something that you can really use to speed up your process. But also ChatGPT has a lot of information, but always use AI with caution. Remember that human intelligence is still always needed. So take advantage of it, but be cautious. And even you can take it a bit further, and ChatGPT can also give you a code for it. For example, for the previous example for the scheduling application, you can just ask to write the code for these screens. Then you can take it, you can copy it, and the developers can already start testing it. But of course, it's not perfect. There usually needs some adjustments, but it's a good head starter, especially in Hackathon, where you have very limited time.
And yes, it's time to draw our first, or maybe not first, paper prototypes. As you can see in the image, they are very minimalistic. How do we usually do it? We take a piece of paper, we create small sections reminding mobile screens or desktop screens. You don't need to choose both. You can select only mobile or desktop. And then we create this step-by-step flow. We're just drawing very simple shapes that reminds us buttons or some links that user can click on. In the next slide, we thought about some simple tasks that you can use as your reference for this exercise. So there are several options you can choose from. You don't need to choose all of them. So the option 1 is to design a simple step-by-step flow for purchasing shoes on an online store. And here we also added some guidance for you, what what steps it can be. And you can also simply check Zalando, About You, any other marketplace, and you will be able to check this flow, how it looks like. So you can do the same in your paper prototype. And the second option is to design a simple flow for booking doctor appointment online, maybe a little bit more complicated. Or you can also use one of your crazy 8 ideas that you already added earlier today and create some kind of step-by-step flow. So as you can see, it's very minimalistic, very simple. And yeah, you can check references that will help you to understand what should be included.
Yes. All right. So are you guys ready? Yes. Yes. Let's get creative. So we're going to put on some background music again, and we're going to see how it goes. 10, 15 minutes for this. And we're going to also walk around if you have any questions. And for the online people, if you have questions, feel free to add it in the chat. And we will try to assist you and help you answering those. All right. All right, the timer is going on. We'll try to close it. Okay, we're good. All right, so how did it go? Did you get at least a couple of screens ready? Yes. And how are you feeling about this prototype testing? It's not that bad, right? Easy, just draw a couple of boxes, couple of screens, right? So what's next? Now we have either a paper prototype, maybe we have mid-fidelity or high-fidelity prototype. So now we move on to our last step, which is testing. And we as a product designers, this is our face, how excited we're always to test our solutions. And the testing phase, I'll move on so we don't get dizzy. So the most important thing in testing is to validate our solutions and listen to our user feedback and iterate based on their feedback. And here in testing, one of the most important thing is that as you create these prototypes, you most likely have spent already at least 15 minutes on it. And there's a law, if you spend 15 to 18 minutes on idea, you fall in love with it. So when you go to testing phase, you bring this amazing solution that you have, you bring it to users and they shut it down. But here it's important to understand that it's not personal. Don't take it personal. Don't get discouraged if it's not the right prototype. If maybe you didn't even get the problem right, it's fine. Because as we saw in the beginning, the design thinking process is non-linear. So in the testing, maybe you understand that something is not working or you have the completely wrong problem. Then you quickly go back to the first phase. And for testing, there's a couple of methods that we can use. So usability testing, surveys, questionnaires, prototype, A/B testing. So all these we list here so you can take a look at them in more detail later. But for Hackathon, you can try to do usability testing. So what is it? So basically, you take the prototype and you take it to the user. And usually during the usability testing, you try to focus on 3 to 5 tasks. So for example, if we take the mobile appointment scheduling app, so one task for the user would be to book an appointment. And then you share the prototype, you ask the person to try to book an appointment, and then you just observe how they navigate through the prototype, if they're able to book it, if they understand it, if they have some frustrations or challenges. And the goal of it is to really uncover the problems in the design, discover opportunities, and learn about the users and their behaviors. And for usability testing, there's another law. In user experience, there's a lot of laws. But basically, Nielsen Norman Group has researched and stated that 5 user tests will uncover 85 of usability problems. So here, if you get 5 users, in Hackathon, you probably can find 5 people, whether it's on ground or, as we said before, friends or people. But it's not, you can use friends, but you have to know if that friend is from the user group, if they're really experiencing this problem. Because if I test something with Darja and she's not my main user, maybe she'll understand it, but she's not having these problems. So for usability testing, try to find 5 people, but make sure that they are from your user group. And right now, we're also going to try to test it quickly. Of course, we are limited on time, so maybe we're not going to do this for 8 minutes, but I'm going to ask you to get in pairs again. So I think right now, maybe we're going to do, oh no, we are even. So you two, and try to do 2 minutes on each prototype. Depends on how far you got, but if you can, try to ask the other person a task. So maybe if we look at this example, we have 5 screens. So maybe my task would be try to search for something. And then I try to look if this person is able to find the search field and type in something. But don't worry, don't get discouraged or scared. If you didn't get this far, you can also just share the prototype with the person next to you and ask their feedback. Don't explain what it is, but let them look at it and ask what it is. So we'll see if the user is understanding what you have created. All right, so we're gonna do this for 5 minutes. So for 5 minutes, online people, breakout room, no breakout room, no breakout room. Maybe you can take a quick break, go grab coffee. So we're gonna set a timer for 5 minutes and try to share. If some of the online people want to share this feedback, you can write in the chats, and then we're gonna put you in a breakout room. So for online, we have one open breakout room. So if you want to, you can join. All right, so now we went through the testing phase. Hopefully it was interesting for you and you learned something about your solution. So what we do after the user testing, we try to iterate based on our users' feedback. So best case scenario, which happens very rarely, that everything in the prototype is perfect, user is able to accomplish everything. So then you would just move into, if you started with paper prototype, then you would move into turning them into higher fidelity prototypes. But what's more common is that you uncover some problems or you see some behavior from the user. So then after the testing, you go back and you iterate these designs and try to improve them. And right now we're in the final stretch. So we wanted to show you quickly 5-minute Figma demo introduction. This is maybe a bit advanced, but really the interface, don't get scared. Once you actually try it, it's really not that hard. So right now I'm going to be joining the call and taking over the screen. And can you see it? Okay, so you can see my screen, right? Yes, that is it. All right, so this is Figma, and Figma is free. Figma is free for all, so you can just create an account. And today I will show you just quick things that you can do and resources that you can use. So here you can see a lot of my files, but you would click new design file and it will open up a blank page. And here on top, if you click this, you can see frames. So before we start designing, we choose a frame that we will be designing for. And similar as you did in your paper prototype, you can choose to focus either on desktop. So it already has a lot of different dimensions and screens, and you can add the screen. And you can also choose to focus on mobile. In best case scenario, you're designing both. But here you add one frame, and let's add a mobile screen. So here it's already starting to look something like prototype, at least the start. So we're going to okay, let's try this one. So we're going to just try to quickly show you what you can do and add some text. So let's try to see how you can, in less than 2 minutes, make a clickable prototype. So we're going to add a little background to our frame. Maybe you do it as I'll speak. And then we're going to try to add some text. And we can just write, are you ready, with big letters. And then we're going to add a text and a button. And after you click a button in a prototype, you will be brought to the next screen. So Darja right now added the text. And now she's going to be creating a button. Click here. And she's moving quite fast, but it's really not that hard. So you can create the free Figma accounts and try this on your own at home and be ready for the hackathon. And here we will call this mid-fidelity prototype because we have moved from the paper to the digital, but this is still very mid-fidelity. All right, and she's creating the button right now. as we said in the prototype, it's not about the visuals, so we're just focusing more on the interaction. And now she will copy this frame and make another screen. And there she's going to take away the button and just say, change the text to amazing. And now we have 2 frames. And right now we want to make them interactive. So once a user clicks on the button, they're brought to the next screen. So right now, Darja will go into prototype mode, which is on the right side panel. And she clicks the prototype. And there now, right now, she can make interactions. So she'll be taking the button and connecting it to the next screen. And done. We have a very simple prototype. And now if she goes to share it, she will share it. Something, okay. So we see we have a desktop prototype. We have our first screen. And if she click here, then she's brought to the second screen. So this is something that you can easily do in the hackathon. But we advise you actually try it a little bit before at home. And one last thing that I wanted to show is that you don't have to create everything from scratch. Up here, you see this world icon, and this is Figma community. Let's go back. So in Figma community, you can find a lot of ready designs, components that you can use, so you don't have to design everything from scratch. And this is very good for visualizing your ideas and trying to test it. So for example, if we type up here in the search box, food delivery app, we can see that there's already many designs for food delivery app. And you can just take, for example, let's go with the first one. You click on it, you click open in Figma, then you authorize with your account. And here you can take the ready designs. So here you already have mobile app designs. You can take these, you can adjust them, change the colors or fonts. But what I'm trying to show you here, that you already have a lot of resources. So don't get stuck on creating something new. You can just take and explore what's already out there in Figma. So that concludes the very quick Figma tutorial. But if you go on YouTube or if you go to Figma websites, you can easily access more resources and see how it works. So if we go back to the presentation, we are at the wrap up.
Yes. So we are on the finishing line and we just can remember what we did today, what we have learned today. And yes, so just to wrap up, we started with interviews. So we asked some questions, we understood the pains and needs of our users. Then we clearly defined the problem that we need to solve. Then we have ideated, we come up with a lot of crazy and creative ideas. We have selected the best ideas. We created prototypes around our ideas, and then we validated and tested our ideas. And as Līga mentioned before, it's not a linear process, it's more like a loop. So we are jumping between the step. If something is not working, we are always learning, and then we go back. So as you can see here, yeah, we move a lot in this process, and we try to avoid believing in our assumptions without testing it. So we always validate our assumptions at each step. And yes, we hope that our presentation will help you to be more creative. Do not afraid to test your crazy ideas. And yeah, actually, in the design thinking, to fail, it's a good thing, because you fail quickly, then you learn, and then you continue with a better and new idea. So yeah, good luck everyone during the hackathon.
Hopefully, okay. Hopefully we have given you enough tools and techniques and introduction to design thinking process. And now you can go to Hackathon, apply it, and crush it. And do you have any questions on this? Yes.
Do you hear me? So on last slide, there was a community UI kits. So do you mean that on Hackathon we don't design all steps and sometimes use third-party designs?
Yes. Well, actually, Darja did amazing work and she prepared a Figma file with all components that you can use. For example, buttons, input fields, text boxes. So we will share this Figma link and then you can use it for your hackathon and style it. Because during hackathon, don't try to get stuck on making perfect visuals because if you start designing from scratch, it will take you all weekend just to design a couple of screens. So you can definitely take what's out there and use it. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It was my question that it is not cheating to take ready elements.
We are designers at Printify, and why try to reinvent the wheel if somebody has already done the work for you? There's also a great book. It's called Steal Like an Artist. You shouldn't just copy somebody's work and use it as is, but you can use it as a starting point. So steal like an artist.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right.
Well, in that case, definitely a huge round of applause to our wonderful speakers of the evening. And before we let you go, we definitely have gifts. So Darja, thank you so much. And Līga, thank you so much as well. Once again, round of applause. And yes, for everybody here in attendance, don't run away yet. There are snacks, there are pizzas here or on their way. So yes, no worries. There's going to be something to eat as well. And really a huge thanks to everybody who came here in person. Use the time now to network, to talk to each other, to form teams. And yes, round of applause to you. And round of applause also to the people who participated online, who joined on Zoom. This should have been live streamed to Facebook as well. Sadly, though, Meta crashed and we didn't have the opportunity to do so. But here for the people there on the other sides of the screens, as you see, there are snacks. There's an opportunity to network. So I do highly suggest joining the workshop, pre-hackathon workshop we will have tomorrow at the Startup House, where we will talk about different innovations for healthcare, and to join on Thursday as well for the team formation event pre-hackathon workshop that's going to take place right here once again. Because the main thing really is, of course, to learn. And there were a couple of things I learned as well. I loved your presentation of the very simplified way you have to create a prototype. Now I'll know how to use Figma for that as well. But yeah, it's also about learning, but it's also mainly about networking, meeting your future team members for the hackathon, or maybe for real life, for your startup, and snacks as well. So yeah, once again, round of applause to Līga and Darja. Round of applause to Novartis and Latvijas Banka, Agrita and Edgars for joining as well. Round of applause for them. And yeah, that's it for the workshop live stream. We are going to get to pizza and to networking, but as for you, we are going to see you probably then tomorrow and the day after, and of course, during the hackathon, 8th and 10th of March. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.